Hello everybody, it's me, Farham. We're here with some Path of Exile 2 news. They've released patch 0.20H, which is the 8th letter patch that we've had this league so far. And it's quite a good one. They've clearly been listening to the community and they have responded to quite a few of the quality of life concerns that people have had. So let's take a read through these and yeah, just see what we think. First one, introduced the Ritual Stash tab and the Sortable Stash tab. So these are two new tabs, help us organize things that little bit better. The Flask Stash tab can now also store charms. Updated the sorting of gems in the Gem Stash tab, so just some quality of life there around the Stash tab, that's good. I do believe that the Ritual and Sortable Stash tabs are coming in at 40 points each, so just under a fiver, or £5, or six freedom units, somewhere around there. Added support to bulk move stacks of currency from one inventory to another. It's pretty good. Optional key bindings, and it looks like that's also available on gamepad as well. Optional keypad for quick allocating multiple choice attribute passive skills on keyboard or mouse. Pretty good. Once bound, you can quick allocate attributes by holding down your selected bind when clicking on the passive skill, so no longer having to click and then click again. Just hold down a button, then click on your attributes. It will assign it to either dex, strength, or int. That's great. A little bit less RSI. Unidentified item tier as a filter option for item filters. Thank God we can now actually filter out tiered items properly. Quick currency button for strong boxes, so no more having to fight around in your inventory looking for the currency items. You can just click on the little icons that are under the strong boxes. That's great. Outlines the labels of expedition chests, precursor tablets, and expedition logbooks. That's just going to highlight them on a standard filter. Probably not too much. Well, the expedition chests being highlighted will be pretty good. That's going to They don't get picked up by any filters. Added a quick travel to town button in the world map UI when interacting with a waypoint. You can find this on the right hand side of the screen, so just an easier way to get back to town. On balance, there's been a buff to the drop rate of greater and perfect jeweler's orbs, so I'd expect to see the prices of those come down slightly. And reduce the required level for level 20 uncut skill and spirit gems to begin dropping. This was the primary reason they were so infrequently dropping, so you should now see a lot more of them when running the highest tiers of endgame maps. That's good. I was only actually seeing them really in Sims, and I hadn't seen very many. So level 21 skill gems, level 21 spirit gems might be back on the cards. Asmeri spirits of the spring hare and fox are now approximately 3 times more common. I think I've seen the hare once and it didn't drop a talisman, of course. So being able to see them 3 times more often and have them not drop talismans will be fantastic. Disabled the greed and corruption shrines. This is awesome. I always used to cancel them. I think most people did. Adjusted the damage timing on the meteoric shrine. I've had party members complain about being hit by these, so that's going to be nice. Adjusted the buff durations for the following shrines to 60 seconds, meteoric, freezing, tempest, and gloom, and the buff durations for the following shrines to 90 seconds, acceleration, seeking, massive, replenishing, enlightening, resistance, and diamond, and increase the rate at which diamond and divine rate shrines could spawn. I don't think I've ever seen these two. Anyway, a number of misc improvements. So behavior of breach monsters spawning in narrow and tight areas has been improved. Through the behavior of how breach monsters will spawn, this should drastically improve the minimum experience of the encounter, especially in areas that had tight corridors or hallways. So think about those trenches, auguries, places like that should get a lot better. The minimum encounter time of a breach is now 20 seconds from 12. The rate at which time extends in the encounter now takes into account the monster power of slain breach demons. This means if you kill magical rare enemies during the breach, it will extend the time more than killing normal monsters. That's good. You should get longer breaches. Breach splinters now they drop at a stack at your feet at the end of the breach. It's great. Rogue exiles have a minimap icon when they enter combat. They've improved the lighting so we can see them. They've fixed an issue where rogue exiles would frequently begin combat with a player from off screen. That's no longer going to happen. They've improved visual effects of some of the arbiter skills, particularly the flame corridor and the brightness, so we can see it more quickly, easily. Engaging a second wisp while already following one will have the second wisp follow the same target as the first, so they'll no longer split up and lose the wisp. Added Spectre and Tame Beast skills as outcomes to the Prism of Belief unique duel. That's probably pretty good for Spectres. If they can fix the Spectre AI, it'll be fine. And there's 132 more forward unique options to the Twilight Reliquary, which I'm sure the guild will be thrilled with because we've stored up about 500 keys. Yours truly is probably opening them. And then the usual swell of bugs fixes. So overwhelming presence stats not being displayed when hovering over the gem. Endgame maps couldn't spawn chests. Oasis map couldn't be completed. Rust Ball map couldn't be. So the usual number of bug fixes, a number of instance and client crashes. In fact, this is quite a high number of instance and client crashes. I think we've usually been seeing sort of about 2 to 5. most other lesser patches. So looks like definitely some good quality of life changes. I believe that they've listened to that have certainly been coming out on my stream, so I imagine they're the same complaints that have been coming out everywhere, particularly the breach splinters. That's just a massive change to quality of life and to the experience of mapping, which is going to be good. Ultimately, I think it's a pretty good patch. It's not changing too much gameplay wise, but it's listening to solid complaints and then addressing those. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this one, guys. Catch you in the next one.